Alright guys, monster review of... Okay, hold on. Monster review of a monster that I really always wanted. And I love his design. Like, I love the fact that the file behind him has, like, a symbol. Like, yo, you ain't supposed to be looking in here, but he's got it. This is... Oh, and he's got a number 3 ticket in his hat. Very interesting design. I really love it. Like a gangster from those old-timey movies. So this is my review of OG Bone. He's got his own Arrow Saga, so if you've got him, he's good for that. He is a corruption denier with self-evasion moves. So boom, just a gem rainfall, which I always thought that was really cool about him when I first started the game and I saw his legendary design for the first time. The fact that he actually holds a gem that is like high currency in this game. So OG Bone, a thunder monster. When Dawn Canine distributed Nebula amongst his collaborators, he skipped only one gangster with enough talent to outshine him. Alex Bone. Alex was desperate to get his hands on some Nebula, but in the end, Nebula came to him without effort. A client offered it to him as payment for a job. He was able to transform into OG Bone. And then, oh my god, his finisher, Out of Context Bird, deals heavy thunder damage to all enemies, disables trait on all enemies, and applies Mega Corruption. So yeah, usually you see a lot of trait disable and positive effect removal because like they just like making finishers OP. But this one's just trait disable, but then again it's mega instead of like a normal possession. And you do some very heavy thunder damage, so that's pretty good. And just a little bit of an Easter egg about him. All of, or if not all of, most of his skills names are named after popular and influential community members. So let me show you his trait first. Rank 0, you're immune to blind. Now, I do not hate this as much as I see a lot of other people do, because like blind is the most annoying thing ever. I feel like total blind and normal blind is everywhere in the not in the meta, somewhat in the meta, but in the lower leagues. Like you see a lot of monsters with blind, you see Angelic Gauntlet. It is the most annoying kind of denial because when you miss because of blind, it's annoying. And now we've got a monster like Gangstersaurus Rex, who is a taunt monster who thrives on blind. So, definitely pretty nice to have. Rank 2, you get Hardened. All status effects have 20% less chance to hit him, as you guys know. I think this is always a great trait to have, because like when they make monsters like OG Bone, they know he's not going to be around for very long. So they can give him really bad traits. Like, the one I think we all know too well is Immune to Death Countdown. They'll give a monster that, and that's kind of how you know that they aren't going to be meta at all. It's the most annoying trait ever, unless you're talking about Lord Pumpseed. So, you know, nice little umbrella trait. And then rank 3, I always thought this was kind of special because you don't see this much. You actually do see evasion to the whole team more than you'll see this, really. Status caster self-evasion. Now, in the Metro era, you saw a little bit of self-evasion in UV Fusion and dodge area in like people like Dark Voltaic. So that, yeah, taunt dodge area was really powerful back then. And this was just a little contender. It's pretty powerful self-evasion, meaning that even if you have something like Cold Blood and they have a taunt monster, you can't damage them. But it's worse since it's not permanent. Then again, he can reapply it pretty well. So let's look at his skill set and I'll show you what I mean. And if you, I challenge you guys to look at these moves and then try and find the Easter egg in all 3 of these guys. Although I doubt you guys know any of those guys because I didn't either. What I did learn though is Amrana okay. Amarna NW did my tattoo. That person is a female or male, I don't know. Monster Legends fan art maker. And I've seen this stuff, it's pretty good. Although some of it seems kind of suspicious. Alright, Louise Henrique Case. Deals moderate thunder damage, daze, 0 cooldown. Oh yeah, he really likes... Look at that, daze and blind. As I told you, it's like everywhere. It's so annoying. So it's a nice little immunity to have. So you have 0 cooldown daze, a 1-turn cooldown blind with, I don't know, damage output. I'd be surprised if like Abergo comes in my comment section and tells me he's a good attacker. Amara NW did my tattoo, which is one of his best moves, I think. I think this is one of the ones that you run that doesn't have a star on it. Star means it's your maxed out 4 moves, but doesn't always mean it's your best. So moderate thunder damage, daze, and evasion. And the reason I really liked this back in the day was because Kevlar's vest was super popular, and now it's even worse. The talents that do what Kevlar's vest did are even stronger, like Vodamelter's Triskeli's, because you attack them, you daze them, so if they're an attacker, hey, that little daze is pretty nice. Even Megaton and your tank monsters have something to use against you, like a dot or some blinding, like Gangster Source Rex, that it's nice to have the immunity. No, sorry. It's nice to daze them from. And then you self-apply evasion, so by the time that relic kicks in to attack you, to give you a little bit of damage back, your evasion kicks in and the Kevlar's Vest will hit that. Nothing ever happened. And it's on a 1-turn cooldown. So on a 1-turn cooldown, a damaging move with self-evasion, I think he is pretty reliable in a 1v1. Tragic Existence, this might be off a movie, it sounds like it is. Or maybe Tragic is a player in the community, I don't know, I didn't go through all the Easter eggs. Deals low thunder damage to all enemies, applies blind to all, it's just an AoE blind. It's not the best, it's not the worst. OG just disappears a lot, this is a hilarious name. Applies evasion to itself, applies true vision to itself, requires cooldown. So with this you gain evasion, true vision, 2-turn cooldown. I honestly don't think, I think this is kind of unnecessary to have this evasion move too. Like, but it is, then again, it's really good. I've seen a lot of scenarios where a denier can't deny until the next turn, maybe the turn after, or maybe they just know they're going to get wiped off the board because there's a strong attacker. And this is just a good move to have. Although, it's either this one or this one in my opinion. Like, you only really need one dodge area move. And this one gives you true vision, which is really good for a denier. The Marianne business. Okay, I don't get why that twisted me up so much. Deals heavy thunder damage to one enemy, applies stun. I really like that he has stun and corruption, because those two are stuff that you don't usually see often together, and they're immunities that people either have immunity to all control, but they never have immunity to corruption and stun. Those are different enough to where he's a pretty versatile denier. And it's some heavy thunder damage, so that does not hurt anyone but your enemies. Eric's Claw, an Easter egg to one of, like, I feel like everyone at one point's favorite Monster Legends creators, Armor Gaming. His real name, or at least as he's let us on to believe, is Eric, so this is a shout out to him. Does moderate special damage and applies Mega Corruption, which the icon doesn't look like it's Mega Corruption, but it is. And what it means is it's not Mega Possession, like the icon is the same for both of them for some reason. This is the normal corruption one. But it's corruption, which means if they have immunity to possession, they don't have immunity to corruption. So if they're just immune to possession, you can take advantage and corrupt them for 2 turns. So a dot that doesn't have too many immunities, that can last for 2 turns. Now, even though there's no special cleanse before it, even just having corruption is a better denial than most others. Even though there's new ones like Roots, which doesn't have any immunities so far, and Fear, which only has a few, and the monsters who have them aren't the best. Although I have a feeling that Lord Heyman is going to have immunity to Fear, and he's OP. Martin the Year Taker, I like the name. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies, applies corruption, so your basic AoE corruption, this is what you expect on a denier. So just to go over his like denying capabilities, single Mega Corruption, which are better than possession or any other dot. They're personally one of my favorites, because even if you possess them, if you have like Lord Heyman who can possess monsters and he goes next, he can corrupt them and the possession immunity won't affect it. So you have that. And then after the Mega Corruption, if they have the immunity to it, you can just stun them. And then let's say you can't deny them, it's a Chieftain Alaroke and he's about to wipe you out, you just do OG Disappears a lot. And if you're really afraid of like immune to control monsters, because they are quite popular, you do Amarna NW Did My Tattoo, so that you have that damage plus daze to neutralize them, plus evasion. So he's a pretty versatile guy. His traits, not the best, not the worst. Actually, you know what? It's pretty good. It's in the middle, because these both of these can do everything. Can be like a good. Yeah, traps are exactly what they sound like. If they hit you, they'll probably take a lot of damage back, or you could use it for stamina. And same thing right here. It's mostly stamina and healing with amulets. And then obviously for his relic setup, I'm not going to give him anything too powerful yet. Not until I start doing his Era Saga. You just want to go all speed runes. Maybe... No, yeah, I would say a speed rune or 2 speed runes and a team speed. But he's old enough, like he's from older eras, so he's not going to go first even if you give him all speed. So if you have like an Omnia that's supposed to go first, I guarantee you she'll still go first. She does not need him to have a team speed, although it's pretty good because either way it's just making your whole team faster. So I'm going to display this with a rank 1 Michonne like I was doing last video, except replace the denier with everyone's favorite gangster, OG Bone. Now oh my god, Gangstersaurus Rex, or like, I always call him Gangstersaurus Rex, I mean Boss Rex. Oh my god, I always call him by his epic name. I loved his epic design. Alright, so look, and this shows something that I really love to see, because it's just the coolest thing. It feels like you're cheating almost. So first, do what you expect with Michonne, just kill all these guys. That's why she's able to kill that guy on the second turn and not the first. Because anti-gravity boots kick in, she does more damage. Okay, I've been confused about that. Ignore that. So eye for an eye, you do your basic damage, and then look, you might have that oh no moment, because this guy, he's immune to possession, but guess what? You don't use possession, you use corruption, which works the same, but it's not. So look at that. Now, with an immunity to possession, he's corrupted. Even though he thought he wouldn't have to attack himself, he will. And then you can just, waste this attack on him. Maybe you ran ANRW's move, so that you'd have just a little thunder damage to do without having to waste a denial. So boom, boom, it's an attacker, you just do damage. And then I really want to display what happens. No. Okay, thank goodness. So look, and then his corruption runs out, and now he's immune to possession and corruption. So instead of being like bankrupt, because OG Bone always has the money, instead of being able to do nothing because he's possessed in corruption immunity, you have a stun move. So look, stun, and then we let it go back to him. Waste his turn, maybe do some more damage, you try and kill them as fast as possible, and then boom, you have your mega corruption. Now I got his finisher, but in reviews I don't like to use finishers because it's luck based and you wouldn't have the same chance at getting a finisher as me, so it's kind of like incorrectly displaying. But yeah, I think that about covers it for my review of OG Bone. I love his design, man. It's so funny. He's like a classic mafia villain from a movie. And he's got his own Era Saga, by the way, which means free gems for your rewards. And if you can beat it, which I don't think you can, it's pretty hard. But if you can beat it, a new talent called the Bodyguard. So definitely worth picking up. I think he's pretty fun. I would rank him up for... Look at that. No, look at that. That is Gangstersaurus Rex. I was just talking about you. Definitely worth picking up. I don't think he's going to be too usable from here on out. But for beginners, he's pretty great. Rather than your, typical bad denier like Wormnoid, he's got corruption and self-evasion. And blind and stun. And, yeah, I would just rank him up for fun. But, that's my review of the monster. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like to support the video, support the content. It's a brutal algorithm world, and I gotta get this video to more people, so, do your thing. Leave a comment and I will respond. I would love to hear your thoughts on him. Who is your favorite monster from the, what is it called? Crime Syndicate book, which is basically the gangster book right here. No, the Syndicate. Okay, I thought it was the Crime Syndicate, but that's a DC, villain team. So yeah, who's your favorite of them? Comment that. That's your task. And subscribe to join the Crab Army. We're at 116 subscribers. That is massive and a great milestone. I'm so proud that I actually got here, and I can't wait to go further. So, yeah, feel free to subscribe. Join the crab army before we reach 200, 300, 400. And there was one last thing in my outro. Oh yeah, that's right. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it helpful. Your favorite Omni-Crab signing out. Let's see if I get like gems first though. I got gold.